Welcome back to Down the Frame. Today, we are actually doing something that I don't even know if we're ready for, but we're gonna do it because we've never done it before. We're gonna be fiberglassing something in this boat. Now, there's a couple things we could do, a couple holes perhaps that we may have put in there ourselves that we can try to fix. And also we have a new strategy for the transom. So I'll just show you that so you can get a better picture of it. And we do have one cut that's pretty clean over here that we might try to patch because it's probably the easiest one to patch.
Right.
First step today is cleaning this up. As you can see, there's leaves. It's fall time. We're in New England. You got the leaf peepers everywhere. I've been trying to keep them out of my yard, but without further ado, let's get down on the frame. I'm gonna use the extension.
Oh, it's satisfying. That's so satisfying!
I feel like all the fiberglass turned into a paste.
I didn't think fiberglass. Holy shit.
Okay, we think we're gonna start with this cut right here. Reason being, it's a nice flat surface, probably easily prepped. All right, so we're gonna use the sander, prep the surface, wash it with acetone, and then our plan is to start with a patch that's just a bit bigger than that cut. Actually, we'll probably do this whole length here. Start with a patch that's just a little bit bigger and then work our way up in size. That way we really get a nice coverage of the area. So
Some good adhesion.
Adhesion.
It's the name of the game today is adhesion.
See, on the boat itself, it's adhesion. On the engine, it's parts off the floor.
Yes. Yes.
All right, adhesion's the name of the game. Let's get down on the frame.
Say that like just say let's get down to the frame after every time we address the camera.
Let's get down on the frame. Welcome to down to the let's get the frame down.
What?
We're using a little bit of 80 grit, some Diablo. The only issue I have with these is that they kind of are too papery. I wish it was more of like a reinforced because this stuff really does just fall apart after a while on fiberglass. But I don't mind.
Fiberglass is also a pretty tough material.
Right, I know, but I think they sell like more fiber reinforced type stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't just fall apart.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just gonna use it because I already bought it, but probably not the most ideal product for the job.
Gotta get that specialty sandpaper.
That especial, sandpaper especial. It's cold, so I feel like we're gonna have to pour a lot of hardener.
The line, that's another clean one that we could look at today too.
Oh yeah.
He was like, that's another clean line.
We're just doing a little doctoring today for all the fucking damage we did. What was that?
Just wanna see how far.
It's probably kind of pretty good. It's tough because in the pores you can see where the spray foam or the close-out foam is adhering to, but I mean I think that's going to be pretty much next to impossible to get to. I don't know, what do you think? Should we take the grinder to it and like?
I think it looks clean. Like what are we trying to get to? Like is there a certain state that we have to get to? You wanted to get to the resin, right? The old resin.
To kind of get it to a state where it has enough of the old resin and fiberglass to adhere to, because the polyester resin wants to react with other polyester resin.
Right.
Honestly, we're probably gonna do this as like a patch, right? And then on the other side, we'll probably end up having to bezel it a little bit to make it
the gel coat and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And gel coat it, so it's gonna end up being like
A sandwich.
yeah, like here's a cut and then like sandwiched together. Got acetone? Wash it down. Wash it down with some acetone. Oh yeah! Look at that, dude.
I love the smell of acetone.
That's not good. Although it doesn't smell bad, I gotta admit.
Just apply it directly.
Well, my thought process was to flush out anything in that crack.
Just like the doctors do.
Luckily, it's not flammable.
Sure.
Cleaned it up with some acetone, sanded it down. It actually looks like, compared to the rest of the boat, pretty good. You can see the 1708 that's there. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna read up on the polyester resin that we got. That way we can find out how much hardener to add into it, and we'll probably cut up a couple slices of 1708 to lay on top of that. All right, this is our little pile of stuff we got going. Got this stuff on Amazon. I know you're not supposed to get fiberglass just folded like that. It's really bad for it. But I also got some stuff from Hamilton Marine, and while it's less folded, it is also folded. The stuff that we went and picked up ourselves actually was on a roll, which is better for fiberglass because it doesn't break the fibers, but we're gonna run with it. We're doing small patches. So we also have some other stuff like the silica, some thickener. We just got some chop strand and buckets. Then over here we have our polyester resin by Fiberglass, Orca 203, no wax in that. And then this is the hardener solution, so methyl ethyl ketone peroxide. And then some other just roller stuff and what have you. It's probably cut a little bit of the 1708. We'll just do one small strip and we'll cut it to size for what we want. Then we'll mix up some polyester resin, jump back in the boat, lay it down. And you know, hey, if it breaks when we're on the water, we know how to swim. We'll have life jackets. It's our first time laying fiberglass, but I did a lot of research, months of research, and watching videos before this, so hopefully it goes well. What?
This needs to be at room temperature when we mix it.
It is room temperature. The room is Earth.
Okay. It's 77 degrees, but we're about 20
Well,
shy
it was
of that.
inside. I don't know.
So we need to mix the resin with a ratio of the MEKP at a ratio of basically 1% by volume. This will give us a pot life of 30 to 35 minutes. It might be longer because it's cold out, but
Maybe we should mix more hardener. What was the percentage?
1% by volume.
So I got the fiberglass laid out. We're using my WIS heavy duty titanium coated ambidextrous shears. Hopefully this will cut it. We're gonna do like a smaller, longer piece. Actually, we should measure that. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm guessing 11 inches. So we've decided through some random guessing, we're gonna do 1 inch by 10 inch long strip for that cut. So I cut right there. Science. Oh, like butter, dude. Da-da-da-da, first strip. This is what we're gonna be doing. You got first layer, second layer, a little bit bigger, third layer.
Math.
That's what the man says to do. That's what we're gonna do. So let's just jump back in the boat. First, we gotta mix some stuff.
I hate doing things by volume. Makes my head hurt.
That's why you're gonna do it. If your head ain't hurting, you don't care enough. And my head does not hurt at all.
So if we do 500 milliliters, 1% of that would be 5 milliliters, right? Is that how math works?
I think so.
Move the decimal place over twice.
Well, no, that would be
Because a tenth
500
would be, a tenth would
milliliters?
be 1, would be 50 milliliters. Another decimal place over would be 5 milliliters. So that's what we'll do. We'll mix half a liter to start. That's 500 milliliters. We'll add, I don't know how I'm gonna measure this yet, but we'll add 5 milliliters.
Well, you got 2 buckets.
Well, there's no denotion for 5 milliliters here.
A dash. A dollop of daisy.
What's pretty funny is on this it says 7 or 8 drops per ounce.
Okay, just
Or 1 tablespoon per pint.
we'll use drops. Be
But
fine.
this is like, do you see the size of this? This isn't...
Just be careful. If we do too much, it'll harden fast.
really fast.
But that's fine because we're already prepped, ready to go.
All right, we'll do a little. I'm nervous.
And it's cold out
I'm
too.
nervous.
You don't. I know. Just don't blow us up because I've heard this stuff is combustible if you mix it too.
Well, let me put out my fucking ciggy.
So you know, I feel like I'm actually a little excited to lay this down. Just holding the fiberglass patches, it feels so nice. I might like fiberglassing. It's a real pain, but who knows? If it's sturdy at the end of the day, it might be cool to do every once in a while.
Ruh-roh.
I say that at the beginning of the video.
Do you have a pair of channel locks?
I feel like 500 milliliters is a lot. Should I do 250?
Oh god. Look at that stuff. It's blue.
It's like horseshoe crab blood.
Horseshoe crab blood, yes. We're being overcautious and wearing masks. We're outside, but you know, doesn't hurt. Probably not the best stuff to be breathing in.
I want to know what it smells like. Is that weird?
I can smell it.
I can't.
Does that mean my mask doesn't work? Okay, so what I'm doing here is now got the good stuff. We're just gonna apply a little bit of resin. A little teensy bit. John Strand. As you can see, it's turning brown. Anybody know what that means?
Oh.
It actually looks really good.
Yeah, it blends in quite nicely.
Yeah. Patch number 2 going on. Definitely setting pretty quickly. Gonna work the resin into the fibers. Cool that like it's white when it's not wet, but when it's wet, you can see through it.
Turns opaque or translucent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And I think that's cool.
I don't know, I got like Bob Ross vibes.
Just kind of chill for a minute here. Oxygenate, do a little roly-poly, get the air out of it. I like the way that looks.
I'm gonna guarantee it. This is like the culmination of literal months. That's hot.
I wouldn't call us professional, but not 100% amateur. But people have said fiberglass is like pretty forgiving to work with. Alright, so that's our first patch, which I actually think looks pretty good. Like, not too shabby. And then this is our weird attempt at, you know, something. It's a little rough, but, you know, we'll fix that.
It's all about experimentation.
Absolutely.
The name of the game today, experimental adhesion.
Yes. I think the first laying of fiberglass went well. Satisfying, oddly satisfying. I can see if like you're really into this stuff, I can kind of get it. But we're gonna let that set up for a bit, go grab some grub. We may lay another, like a 4th layer, bigger patch on top of that, but then we're gonna go find the other cracks, clean those up, and try to work on those as well. The other thing is that we're definitely gonna have to somehow get under the boat and properly fix the bottom and gel coat it and all that. So even with these patches, this is just one half of the sandwich that we're trying to make. So I think I'm feeling pretty good that this will fix the issue that we're having with holes in our boat pretty effectively. So, all right, back from lunch. It's been about, I don't know, an hour or two, and we're gonna see how it's set up. Looks pretty good. You can smell it for sure.
Yeah. What am I looking at?
Oh yeah, Jackie's here. She's observing what we've done. That's the patch, babe.
Oh.
No?
Wow, blends right in.
I know, looks pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Sure. It's pretty dry. Jake put like a half gallon of hardener in it, so.
Hey, it's cold, all right? I wanted to make sure it's set.
It did. Yeah, so it's pretty solid. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna hate doing this.
No. It's pretty satisfying. I think we're gonna hate like the tight spots that are gonna be hard to get to. Like some of the cuts that we have are like in this seam right here, I think. So.
Yeah. So Jake's hole is technically
No,
filled.
Fixed.
Fixed.
Dude.
Nice and solid.
Let's see if that'll survive a Sawzall.
What we should have done is just did an entire layer of Kevlar inside the boat.
No, that'd be good.
So this crack right here is the next one we're gonna fill. It's another simple one, but we got that one, that one, that one, and that one. So this side got.
Last day of demo, we got a little out of hand.
Yeah. Don't forget to put your brushes in acetone.
So patch number 2 or 3, depending on how you're counting that one over there, which is now all dirty, is in. looks good. We'll hope it sets up and looks the same as the other one. The proportion of hardener to not hardener was a little bit high this time, so we'll see.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So we'll see how she sets up. I mean, I don't know if too much hardener is a bad thing. I can't imagine that it is. It's just your pod time is lower, but
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see.
All right, guys, a quick but satisfying day of work. We got 2 holes patched, you know, and it was very exploratory.
Well,
we
almost
learned
3, like 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
And it was good to finally work with some fiberglass and actually lay some in a nice way, you know, and the chemistry aspect was intimidating, but I feel like, you know, it's pretty straightforward. I think we now know what we need to do, and I think our next task is to find the other hole, which is somewhere in here, and then patch those ones down there. But the first day is successful. We're not 100% sure what we want to do with these. I know we said we wanted to do them bigger, but that's a lot more work, and I'm just not sure if it adds value.
Yeah, it's tough to put a flat transom in a boat that wasn't designed that way.
Yeah. We're running out of relatively warm weather, so we're gonna have to figure out a solution to work inside. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment if you saw anything we were doing weird or have anything to say. My questions are, is too much hardener a bad thing? Like, how much hardener is a bad thing? I know there needs to be resin in there, but is it better to have less hardener in longer cure time or more hardener, shorter cure time? You know, is that the only difference? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time on Down the Frame.